Okay, kiddos, I'm excited that you're here today. So I'm going to show you what you're going to need. So does everyone have paper? So if you have some paper that looks something like this, mine has a hole in it, but that's okay. I have orange. Do you guys have paper that looks like a rectangle? You do? Oh, awesome. Now look at this, guys. Look how big this paper is. And then look how big this one is. This one's half the size. If you have this size, that's okay too. You can make it really big, but I'm gonna show you how to cut this in half in case you wanna make it small. You know, I also have painted paper. So guys, remember when we create art, sometimes we make mistakes or you don't like your art. That happens to me all the time. So what I do, I just cover my whole paper with paint, and then in projects like this, I get to take them out. I mean, wouldn't this be kind of cool, like a cool nose or something? So we can add these little pieces to our art. Okay, we're definitely gonna need a pair of scissors. Does everyone have scissors? And a black marker. Now you can use any color marker that you want, but I do like the black marker because it gives really strong lines. Okay, we're gonna need a few other things like Scotch tape, or if you have any yarn, or if you have pipe cleaners. We'll get to all that later, so you don't even have to worry. So here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make these little banners, guys. Look at this one. It's a skull, but I added some flowers, and I used some crayons along the outside. So I just grabbed my crayons. Now you can use your crayons too if you want to, or markers. But look at this, it kind of has a pipe cleaner top. If you have yarn, you can use that too. Or if you don't have either one of these, you can just tape it to your front door. You could tape it to your windows, so you can let everyone know that you're inviting, you know, guests to trick or treat. So we're gonna do a skull. I'll show you how to do a skull. I'm gonna show you how to do a little ghost. Who likes the little ghost? Isn't he cute? He's very happy, but your ghost can be any emotion that you want it to be. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. Here's a kitty cat. So we can do a kitty cat too. So if you don't do a pumpkin or a ghost or a skull, you can do maybe a cat. Does that sound like fun? Okay. So kiddos, I think we're ready to get started. Are you ready to get started? Okay, so grab your marker. No, actually, no. Grab your scissors and grab your favorite color piece of paper. This is gonna be your background. Now, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, kiddos, look at my paper. I have a hole in it, but that's okay. What I want you to do is take your paper and stand it up nice and tall so that it looks really tall. So not this way, but this way. And what I want you to do is fold it in half, but just gently. Don't put a big crease. Just put your hand and run it along really easy so that you can hold it in your hand. Now look where my hand is holding. Do you see it's holding on the folded side, not over here? So if you're left-handed, you want to hold your paper like this. Now, what we're going to do is take our scissors and hold our paper, and we can make any kind of pattern right here. So for me, I think I'll make it nice and simple. I'm gonna open up my scissors like a shark's mouth, and I'm gonna open them up so wide, I'm gonna put them right in the corner where my fold is, and I'm gonna go snip, 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 snip on an angle so that, look at this, kids, when I open it up, it looks like a pendant. So I have this square here, but I have a point. Almost looks like a big fat pencil. So go ahead and do that, but I want to show you another one. Now, if you don't really want to do that, maybe you want to do something fancy like this. Watch this. I'm going to do the very same thing. So you can watch me first. Fold it in half, hold it with my hand. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go bump. See how I'm turning my paper? And I'm turning my paper again. Bump. I'm turning my paper. Bump. And I'm kind of going up on an angle and bump. And I'm going to make this big bump all the way to the edge. So when you open it up, it looks like that. So kids, you can do one of the two, and I would say go ahead and do that right now. So mine looks like this, but I also did one that's a little simpler. Okay, you guys are super fast. Nicely done. Okay, let's move on to the next step. You guys are super fast. Let's do a pumpkin. You guys want to do a pumpkin? That'll be the easiest thing. But you don't have to put it on your art. Let me do a bunch of different ones, and then you can decide what you like. So I think I'll do my orange background, and what I'm going to do is this kind of pumpkin face. So all we're going to cut out now is 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. So I'm going to get some black paper. Now, just because I'm using black paper doesn't mean you have to. You can use any color paper you want. Mouths don't always have to be black. So I'm getting a scrap of paper, something that's not that big. So here's my hand, and you can see how it's kind of skinny. So now what I want to do, I want to fold my paper in half. So whatever size that you have, just go ahead and fold it in half. Then I'm going to take a white crayon, so just so you can see it. But if you have a pencil, you can use a pencil. And I want to make a smile or a frown or an angry face, whatever you want. And it's going to go up, 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 and then down, down, down. So it kind of looks like a half of banana. Now, what you want to do you guys notice this? We're working with folded paper today. So the big part of the mouth goes on the folded paper. So in other words, it doesn't do this, which is kind of a strange looking, that actually could be a cool mouth too, but we're going to do the big part so it's nice and wide on the folded part. It gets a little smaller and then it comes around so that when I cut it out, I'm putting my hand on the folded part. Whatever cutting hand you use, make sure your other hand's on the folded part. So now look what happens when I open this up. We have a mouth. Now, that mouth is very big. It might be too big. It covers my whole paper, but I actually like that. I think that's kind of cool. Let's add some teeth, guys. Let's fold that puppy right back up again, and I'm gonna make some teeth. So to make teeth, all you have to do is take your scissors and go snip, and then open it up, move your scissors over, and go snip. Then turn your scissors and then cut out a little kind of a square. Now that's not going to be the tooth. This is. So let's do another one. Snip, snip, and then snip. I'm going to save these because I think I'll probably use those little pieces again. And I'm going to do one right here on the, right there on the fold. Okay, now when this opens up, oh, let's do some on the bottom. Snip, snip. I like snipping my paper. Okay, now when I open it up, look at all those teeth. Looks like he has braces on. So that's my big smile. So when you have something that you like, you can go ahead and put it on your paper. I think I'm going to add more teeth. You can keep it open, and I'm going to add more sections for teeth here. Yeah, maybe one right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. You can also turn it around like that. A little scary. Okay, so let's move on. Let's put we don't have to glue our mouths down right yet. What we want to do is make some eyes. So I see all those little bits and pieces. I like saving those until the very end because you never know. Now, just because I can, I'm going to use, I think I'll use this colored piece of paper for my eyes. I want you to choose a color for the eye of your pumpkin. I have a big piece of paper that I cut down, and now what I want to do is fold it in half. Whenever you're making two things that look the same, you may as well just fold your paper in half and just cut out one of them, and then you'll get two. So now I want to make a triangle. So I'm starting in the middle, and I'm making two lines that go down, And then you can go straight across, or you can kind of curve it, which I think looks a little spookier. So if you want to use your marker to draw that, you can. If you feel comfortable not drawing it and just cutting it out, that's awesome. So I'm just turning my paper, I'm holding it tight with my fingers, and I'm just cutting it. And now the curved part. Okay, see? When I open it up, now they're identical. Now, remember those little pieces of paper that I kept? I think I'm gonna use those and maybe put them in my eyeballs as eyeballs for my pumpkin. So if you want to, you can get some glue, and let's glue those right on now, because if we don't, we might lose them. So I have some glue here. Sometimes I don't like using this type of glue because I always find it's hard to get the glue out, but I might be lucky today. Okay, I'm gonna tap that down and I'm gonna squeeze. Ooh, I have to squeeze really hard. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that and stick it right on my eyeball. Well, this is the eyeball. I'm sticking it on my eye socket. It looks kind of creepy, doesn't it? I suppose that's good for Halloween. Okay, so there is my eyes. Here's my mouth. And then we need a nose. So I think I'll go ahead and choose a color for your nose. I'm having a hard time choosing. Maybe I'll choose yellow since I have a little scrap. Actually, look at all the colors I have. I still like the yellow. I'm gonna choose that yellow. So here's my scrap that I use for one of my pendants. And I'm just gonna take the scrap and make a nose out of it. There. Oh, you know what would be fun and kind of silly is to put 2 nostrils. Do you guys think I should do that? He's looking kind of like a pumpkin pig. Okay, there we go. Here's 1, here's 2. You can have as much fun with these as you want to. You can decorate them as much as you can. Okay, I think the only thing I want to do now is take more black paper. And you guys are getting some ideas, I bet. I want to take some paper and I just want to make some eyebrows. And you guys are really good at cutting. So just see what kind of cuts you can make with your paper. And to give the expression that you want for your pumpkin face. It might just be a simple line. You can actually draw it with your marker if you wanted to. Okay. He looks like he's laughing now. Okay, when you have your face all arranged, what I want you to do is kind of move your pieces around so it has the expression that you like. So it looks like my face is laughing. So now you want to take your glue, start from the eyes, add a little bit of glue, and try to remember where you wanted it to be, and go ahead and glue that down. There. And the eyebrows are going to be hard because they're so teeny. If yours are super teeny, you can also draw with your marker. That might be fun too. I like my nose the best. I think that's my favorite part. You know why? Because it was a bit of a surprise. Okay, now I'm gluing down my face. I mean, not my face, my smile. And I think I'll just put it on a little bit of an angle. That means I'm not making it straight across, but I'm kind of tilting it. Now, just to make sure everything's glued down, I'm gonna take my face, I'm gonna flip it over, and we do this in primary when we're using glue and paper. So I want you just to count to 5 and make sure that it's completely smooth. There we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop my screen. So far, I've added 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Hey, I have a question for you guys. What color stands out the most in this pumpkin face? The black stands out the most because it's a contrasting color, but the yellow stands out the most because it's the most different color. What do you think the color that does not stand out the most? What color is that? Yeah, the pink, because it's so close to the orange. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trace around my eyes just so I can see them. Okay, kiddos, I'm going to share my screen because we're going to move on. We're going to draw some more, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Look what I'm going to do. I'm just going to outline my eyes because I noticed with your help that the pink really didn't stand out that much. So you don't have to do this part, but I just thought it looked better. Now, do you guys want to learn how to draw a spider web? Okay, do you see this? I want to put a spider web in my art, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You want to take a black marker, and even if you're not done of gluing on your eyes, then don't worry about that because you can always add your eyes over this spider web. So what I want you to do, I want you to take your marker and I want you to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. Kind of in the corner, and they look like they're going along an arc. See? Okay, so now what we want to do is take our marker, and I want you to put your marker on the dot and draw a line to the corner. If it's easier, you can do it this way. And I want you to start at the corner and go to the dot. Start at the corner and go to the dot. And start at the corner and go to the dot. So it looks like a bunch of lines coming from the corner of the paper. You guys got that? Then the next step is to do a curved line. So we want to take 2 of these dots and I want to connect them with a curved line. Let's do it again. And right here, now I'm going right over my eyebrow and right here and off the paper. Now, you want to do that until it gets to the corner. So move up a little bit, make a curved line, another one. It's like a little bump. Another one and another one. Don't forget the ones on the ends. Keep on going and going and going. And they get a little tinier. And finally, the very last one is so close to the top. And you just made a spider web. That's how you do it. So you can make those on all of your pendants if you want to. Okay, so now I have a lot of fancy, gizmos. I have like a dowel here, I have yarn, I have pipe cleaners. Let me show you my pipe cleaners. I have a pipe cleaner here, and I think, honestly, this is the easiest way to allow your pendant to hang up. So if you have some yarn or if you have a pipe cleaner, then what I would suggest is to turn your art over, grab a pipe cleaner that you like. I have these striped ones that I got at a craft store, and I like to use tape. I find that tape is the easiest thing. And what you want to do is fold it in half and give it a nice crease. Take your fingers and pinch, 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 and then open it up a little bit. Then see if you can put that on the back of your pendant, and then just take some tape and scotch tape that on. Your mom or dad or someone might help you, or an older brother or sister, just something like that. I think that's the easiest because I was getting really fancy. I had hole punches. You can punch a hole in here if you want to. You can do all of those things. But I just thought this was fun. So, did anyone finish their pendant? Hold it up if you did. Okay, guys. Do you guys want to do another one? Okay, let's do the ghost. Okay, so kiddos, what you want to do is you want to make a background very much like this. So you can do it however you want, whatever color. You just want another background. You can have white. No, don't do white because we're going to make our ghost white. So black or pink or blue or yellow, anything that you want. So for me, I'm going to show you guys one more time how to do those backgrounds, because there might be some kids who didn't see that before. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so now if you haven't joined me before or you didn't see the very beginning, I just want to show everyone in case you missed this part. You want to fold this over and hold the folded part in your hand. Then what you can do is make any kind of pattern you want. And I'm wondering if I have different patterns that I haven't showed you. Oh yeah, here's one. If you take, instead of putting your scissors in the corner, just put your scissors halfway between this point and that point. And then just make one cut so that you're cutting out little triangles. But when you open it up, look how it looks. It's like a pendant, but it has this beveled edge. So that's what I'm going to work with. I'm going to put my pumpkin face away. A lot of the things are going to be similar, but I want to show you how to draw this cute pumpkin. So for me, I want to get out some white paper. So why don't you get out some paper that you want your ghost to be? It could be white, but it doesn't have to be white, kids. You can have a pink ghost or a black ghost, whatever color ghost that you want. Okay, so now I'm going to take a color, and this is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to put your pencil or your crayon at the bottom, and I want you to go up, 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 and down, 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 down. And I'm using the entire width of my paper, and it's as big as my hand, my ghost. I want to make sure it's nice and big. See? Then look at this. I'm going to go wiggle, 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 wiggle. Then I want to cut this out. So it looks like a big letter U, big fat letter U. See? And then you want to make sure the edges are, you just cut the ripply edge of the ghost. And I almost never cut along my drawing line. I always change it up. But that's just because I don't know why I do that. I just do that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take a black crayon just because I think this would be cute with a crayon. So I have some crayons right here. And I'm going to make my ghost. It's going to be a line. Oh, that's blue. That's kind of cool. Here's black. I'm going to make a line that looks like that and one that looks like that. So that looks like two letter U's. So you can kind of almost like trace your finger. And that's his cute little eye. And then I'm going to make a smile. I can see how you're all busy cutting, and that's good. I'm going to take some pink and make some rosy cheeks. And I'm going to make another ghost with a different expression. And this time I'm not even going to draw it. I'm just going to cut it out so you can see different expressions. So another way you can make the ghost is by making the eyes like this and coloring it in. So you can make dark holes for the eyes. And then maybe his mouth is really small. Maybe he has eyebrows. Which one do you like? I'm going to take my pink, make some little rosy cheeks for my ghost. Okay, so I have two little ghosts. I could put two of them on my paper, but I think I'll just choose one. I think he's my favorite. Okay, so I want to put him right in the middle, but you decide where you put your ghost, and I'm going to glue him down. Boy, this glue is hard to get out. Okay, turn him over. Now the reason why I'm putting mine up a little bit is because I want to write the words boo right down here. So now you can use a crayon or a marker. Where's my big marker? I want to show you how to do block letters, but I want to make sure that everyone wants to do some letters. If you don't want to, you can always do some flowers or pumpkins or draw bats, but I'm going to do some letters here, B-O-O. So here's how you make some block letters. So the first thing I like to do is just kind of give my letters some space. So a nice line and a curve here and a curve here. That's my B. But I want to give a little bit of room. So now I'm going to make my letter O and another letter O. But to make them bigger, all you want to do is kind of draw another line and color that in next to the B's, and then make it a little bit bigger and see if you can kind of just outline it. So you're basically just making all the lines thicker and then coloring in wherever you see the background paper. Now, letter O's are easier because you just draw a line around the O on this side. And if you want it thicker, make another line on the inside and then color any section that you can see through the bottom. You can always go back and make them bigger. Well, let's make a line around the O and another one inside the O. You can even make a little dot here. Looks like little eyes. Boo. Okay, so that's one way. And if you want to make your ghost look like it's moving, these are called kind of movement lines. So you can just add two little lines. They're not perfectly straight. They're a little bit on an angle. Not on an angle, but they're just slightly curved. And it looks like the ghost is kind of moving. Now, right here, I added some decorations. So if you have some crayons and you want to add some extra details to your artwork, this is a good time to do it. And I'm just using these. These are really fun. They're called Stabilo, but they're like a big fat oil pastel crayon. I use them a lot in primary, and because I really like them. Now look at this, guys. Do you want to learn how to do this? You just basically take whatever colored paper you have, and I have this kind of funny paper, and I want you to just cut it into strips. Now you can use black paper or white paper or any colored paper that you have. And I basically just want to cut a strip that matches. So one here, and one here, and one about here. And then all you do, you can make this like scalloped. This is what you call a scallop, little bumps. Just like that. But you don't have to do that. You can do zigzags. So it's like cutting out little triangles. That would be kind of cool. And then some more scallops. Okay, so put away all your little bits and pieces, put them in the recycling. And then what you want to do is turn your artwork over. Now you can either use scissors or a glue or some Scotch tape. And I'm telling you right now, sometimes tape is a lot easier. So I'm going to take some tape. And I'm just going to do this one first, the middle one. And you just want to make sure it goes up just enough that you can tape it onto the background. And then this one, I think I'll probably cut it off there because it looks a little long. So I'm just going to put it right there. And this one goes right here. So when you flip it over, you have these cool decorative edges. These look like teeth. Okay, so while I have my artwork turned over, I'm going to take an orange, take my pipe cleaner or your yarn, and then you can just add tape to the background. And this way you have something to hang up your artwork with. But you don't have to do this stuff. You can just tape your banner onto your door or your window. Okay, kiddos, I made 2 banners. I'm really happy with them. I made a kind of a funny looking pumpkin face, and I made a scary little, he's not that scary. He looks like a very surprised ghost. Okay, kiddos, I am so happy that you guys shared your art with me. Thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye, everyone.